Hello student, myself Digan Sakhiwala, I am your science sir. Today we will continue chapter number 16, Management of Natural Resources. Dear student, today we are discuss about the water. Water for all. Underground water availability has decreased due to some problems are there, some importance of water, dams, water diversity, water harvesting is an ancient concept in India. So we will start. Water for all. Water is a renewable source like air. Water is vital to life. Okay, so water is what? Renewable source means first water is available on the liquid form or it is present in the solid form in the form of ice. It evaporate, convert into the vapor form, go in the cloud and precipitation occur, it come as a rain. So what happen? It is a renewable source. Okay, like air, water is vital to life. It is very important for the life in our body. Whatever water is present, and because of that reason the physiological chemical reaction take place. For all physiological activity of plant and animal, it is so much essential. So water make the hydrogen bond. So in DNA also the hydrogen bond is present, and that is all because of what? Water is present. Water is essential for the survival and economic development of human resources. Water covers about 3/4 of Earth's surface and constitutes 60 to 70% of total body weight of the living organism. So in the living organism it contributes how much? 60 to 70%. Okay, as well as water is essential for the survival and economic development of human resources. Simple thing is that water covers about 3/4 of the Earth's surface. Okay, freshwater resources range from pond to the lakes and large rivers. So freshwater resources range from what? Ponds to lakes and large rivers. Freshwater is exhaustible. However, it is being made available again and again by ocean through the water cycle. So it is exhaustible. Water is what happened? It became a polluted whenever it passed from the different area or different type of polluted water enter into that. So it is what? Exhaustible. However, it is being made available again and again by ocean through what? Water cycle. By water cycle we can again and again get in the pure form, like what? By the rain also. Understand? Fresh water is obtained through the precipitation. Rainfall in India during the monsoon is nearly 75% of the mean annual rainfall. Okay, so fresh water is obtained through what? Precipitation. Whatever steam is collected because of the evaporation reaction. Okay, because of the sun the water is evaporate and all the water is collected in the cloud, steam, and precipitation occurs, so rainfall occur. Rainfall in the India during the monsoon is nearly 75% of the mean annual rainfall. Rain in India are mainly due to the monsoon. It means most of the rainfall in India is confined to few months of the year and is seasonal. Okay, so here what? Rain is what? Seasonal. Rain in India are mainly due to the monsoon. Okay, mainly due to what? Monsoon. It means most of the rainfall in India is confined to few months of the year and is seasonal. Okay, we have different seasons are there. In that the one season is for what? Rainfall. Underground water availability has decreased due to loss from vegetation cover. Okay, so underground water availability is decreased. First reason is what? Loss from the vegetation cover. So roots of the plant are there, they generally cover, they conserve the water, but as the vegetation is decreased, loss from vegetation cover. Diversion of high water demanding crops. Okay, second thing is that the diversion for the high water demanding crops. Third, pollution from the industrial effluents and waste. Third thing is what? Pollution from the industrial effluents and the waste. From early times, method of irrigation like dams, tanks and canals are in practice in India. So in the ancient time, different irrigation techniques are there. In that we can include dams, tanks, canals. They are practiced in India. They were used by the local people in such a way that water requirements were easily available throughout of the year. Use of water was regulated as per need. So in whatever people are there, Indian people are there, they use the water in such a way that water requirements were easily available. Okay, water is very easily available, but at that time population is also less and urbanization was not there. Throughout the year, use of the water was regulated as per the need. But lately in British regime, and independent India, above system change practice followed were construction of the large dam and long distance canal. So after the British regime, okay, independent India, they accepted another system, that construction of large dams, okay, and second is what, long distance canal. The above system lead to the negligence of water demand of the local people, and because of that reason the local people get more and more water because of what dam. We have Sardar Sarovar dam is there, or nearer your city different type of dams are there which provide the water through the whole year. Importance of water. The importance of water to the life of plants can be emphasized based by the enlisting its function. Water is main constituent of protoplasm. So in the cell, okay, in the cell, okay, human body or any animal or any organism in the cell, protoplasm, in that water is the main constituent. It is a solvent through which the mineral salts are transported from one part of plant to the others. So in the plant or animal, so different minerals are there, they are going from one part to another part because of what, water. Various metabolic reaction take place in medium containing water. It acts as a reactant in numerous metabolic reaction. Okay, so many metabolic reaction, whatever reaction take place in the body, metabolic reaction take place in the medium containing water. Whenever we have to take the medicine, then we take the medicine with the water. Okay, same way it acts as a reactant in numerous metabolic reactions. So many reactions are there, digestion process or so many processes are there, in that water will take part as a reactant. During the photosynthesis, water release oxygen. Okay, so during photosynthesis water release the oxygen. So photosynthesis reaction, in that what happen, carbon dioxide react with water, 6 mole of carbon dioxide react with the 6 mole of water, it produces C6H12O6 glucose plus 6 mole of oxygen. So whatever oxygen is produced, that oxygen is produced from what, water. Turgidity of growing cell is maintained with the water. So whatever turgidity of the growing cells are there, that is also maintained by the water. The growth of the cell is mainly depend on the absorption of water. So whatever the growth of the cell are there, that is mainly depend upon the absorption of water. Okay, so some cells are developed very fast because absorption of water is very fast. Various movements, like the movements in sensitive plant, touch me not, are controlled by water. So there is a one plant is there, touch me not. So when we touch it, it lose the water molecule, and because of that reason it curl up. So it is called touch me not. Okay, in that also water play a major role. Metabolic and the product of respiration is water. Okay, metabolic product and respiration process, in that the product is what, water. Dear student, we are going to learn about the dams. Large dam can ensure the storage of adequate water, not just for the irrigation but also for the generating the electricity. So dams are used to produce electricity, as well as large dam can ensure the storage of adequate water, okay, for the whole year, and as well as they are also used to produce the electricity. This type of electricity is called the hydroelectricity, or it is called the hydroelectric power station, where the under the fall we can rotate the turbine, and by that rotating turbine we can produce the electricity. In this turbine magnets are present. So when magnets are present in perpendicular direction, electricity is produced. Canal system living from these dams can transfer large amount of water to great distance. For example, the Indira Gandhi Canal has brought greenery to the considerable area of the Rajasthan. Okay, so this type of canal are there, like Indira Gandhi Canal has brought the greenery to the considerable area of the Rajasthan. Criticism about the large dam address the following three problems. So there was so much criticisms are there for the Sardar Sarovar dam. Okay, same way here some criticism are there. Social problem, because they displace the large number of peasants and tribal without the adequate compensation or rehabilitation. So many peasants are there or tribal communities are there without adequate compensation and or rehabilitation. So government hurt them. Okay, social problem because what, they displace the large number of peasants and tribal without adequate compensation and rehabilitation. Economic problem, because they swallow up the huge amount of public money without generation of proportionate benefit. Okay, so generally in the government sector, government use the people tax to make the dam. So here we can say that economic problem, because they swallow up the huge amount of public money without generation of proportionate benefits. So what government is doing, that is from our tax, our rupees only. Environment problems, because they contribute enormously to deforestation and loss of biological diversity. Biological diversity is very important. One animal is also important, okay, because one animal is play more role in what food chain and food web. So whenever we construct the dam, then environmental problems are arise. Animals are disappear, or they are going in different direction or different place, as well as that deforestation occur. And when the deforestation occur, we know that there is a problem in the rainfall or seasonal change, or in that problems occur pollution, more pollution is created, okay. So and main thing is what, biological diversity, in that problems are arise. Water diversity, generally water harvesting is direct rainwater collection. This collected water could be stored for later use and recharge into the groundwater again. So some water is already present in the ground, means inside of the earth, some area at some certain meter distance, and that water is called the groundwater. Nowadays what happened, because of the industrialization, urbanization, that ground level water is continuously decreased. So we have to use such a technique which will enrich, which recharge the groundwater, okay. So water harvesting is direct rainwater collection. This collected water could be stored for the later use and recharge into the groundwater again. Water side management emphasize scientific soil and water conservation in order to increase the biomass production. So we have to develop such a type of land which divide the water easily, which like water of river or ocean, like that. So that water side management emphasize scientific soil and water conservation in order to increase the biomass production, okay. Biomass production, in that we can include the plant, animal or human, okay. Watershed management not only increase the production and income of the watershed community, but also mitigates the drought. It also decrease the problem of drought, okay, and floods, also decrease the problem of flood and increase the life of downstream dam and reservoir. So it also, watershed management not only increase the production and income of the waterside community, but also mitigates the drought. It reduces the drought, reduce the floods and increase the life of downstream dam and reservoir. Water harvesting is an ancient concept in India. So water harvesting is what, ancient concept are there in Rajasthan or Uttaranchal or Madhya Pradesh, Bihar. Different way they store the water, they harvest the water. Tanks and nadis in Rajasthan. So tanks and nadis in the Rajasthan. Bandaras and the tals in the Maharashtra. Bandaras and tals in the Maharashtra. Bundis in the Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Bundis in the Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Ahars and pines in the Bihar. Ahars and pines in the Bihar. Cools in the Himachal Pradesh. Cools in the Himachal Pradesh. Ponds in the Kandi belt of Jammu region. Iris, that is tanks in the Tamil Nadu. Surangams in Kerala and the Kattas in the Karnataka. So these are the different techniques are there to harvest the water, okay, in India. In largely level terrain, the water harvesting structures are mainly crescent shaped earthen embankment. Crescent shape means what? Curve type, like moon. We know that curved moon are then, or it is what? A curve type earthen embankments, okay, which is made up of bricks or low straight concrete and rubble check dams built across the seasonally flooded gullies, okay. So in largely level terrain, the water harvesting structures are mainly crescent shaped earthen embankments or low or straight concrete and rubble check dams built across the seasonally flooded gullies. Monsoon rain fill the ponds behind the structures. Only the largest structures hold water year round. Most dry up 6 months or less after monsoon. Their main purpose, however, is not hold surface water but to recharge the groundwater. So whatever we store the water, that will recharge the groundwater, okay. So monsoon will fill the ponds behind the structures. Only the largest structures hold the water year round. most dry of the 6 months or less after the monsoon. Their main purpose, however, is not hold the water. So pond or lake, its purpose is not hold the water, but its purpose is to what? Recharge the underground water. Okay, surface water, but not recharge the, but to recharge the groundwater. Okay. Groundwater never evaporate but spread out to recharge wells and provide the moisture for the vegetation over a wide area. So groundwater never evaporate. Generally the surface water are there that evaporate, but groundwater is never evaporate but spread to recharge the wells. So it spread inside of the ground and it recharge the wells. Okay, it recharge the wells and provide the moisture for the vegetation. It also provide the moisture to the vegetation over the wide area. It does not provide the breeding ground for the mosquito like the stagnant water collected in the ponds or the artificial lakes. The groundwater is also relatively protected from the contamination by the human and animal waste. Okay, so generally it does not provide the breeding ground for the mosquito like stagnant water collected in the ponds or artificial lakes. So artificial lake and the pond, in that mosquitoes are produced, but groundwater, in that this type of problems are not arise. The groundwater is also relatively protected from the contamination by the human and animal waste. So groundwater is also safe from what? Human contamination and by the contamination of human and animal waste. Okay. Dear student, we are going to learn about the coal and petroleum. Coal and petroleum are the fossil fuel. Before so many years ago, the dead bodies of animal and plants are converted into the fuel because of the high temperature and pressure inside of the earth, and that fuel is called the fossil fuel. Dear student, petroleum means, petro means rock and oil means oil. So oil obtained from the rock, that is called the petroleum. Coal and petroleum, fossil fuel, that is coal and petroleum, are important source of energy for us. So for the industry as well as for the so many where we need energy, in that coal and petroleum is the important source of energy. Formation of coal and petroleum. Coal and petroleum were formed from the degradation of biomass million of years ago, and hence these are resources that will be exhausted in the future no matter how carefully we use them. Okay, so petrol, kerosene, diesel, they are called the product of petroleum. Okay, so it is exhaustible. In near future it is going to over. Okay, so near future, in that we have to depend on the solar energy or tidal energy or the wind energy. Okay, and then we would need to look for the alternative source of energy, and after that we have to need to look on the alternative source of energy, and best energy we can say that is the solar energy. Effect of coal and petroleum on the environment. So it has the adverse effect on the environment. Okay, many petroleum products are there. When they burn, then they produce the greenhouse gases like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, like that. Since coal and petroleum have been formed from biomass, in addition to carbon, these contain hydrogen, nitrogen and sulfur. Since coal and petroleum have been formed from the biomass, in addition to carbon, these contain what? Hydrogen, nitrogen and sulfur. So only carbon is not present. With the carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen and sulfur is also present. When these are burned, the products are carbon dioxide, water, oxides of nitrogen, oxide of sulfur is obtained. So when the carbon containing product is burned, then they produce carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, or water, nitrogen oxide, okay, or the sulfur oxide. When the combustion takes place in insufficient air, then carbon monoxide is formed instead of carbon dioxide. So when the oxygen is not in the proper amount, at that time, because of the incomplete combustion, we get carbon monoxide instead of what? Carbon dioxide. Now dear student, you take care that whenever you write capital C and small o, that is cobalt, and when you write capital C and capital O, that is called carbon monoxide. The oxide of sulfur and nitrogen, carbon monoxide, are poisonous at the concentration, and carbon monoxide is what? Greenhouse gas. So carbon monoxide is greenhouse gas, and at certain level the carbon monoxide is what? Very poisonous. So whenever we are in the traffic jam and the insufficient combustion of petrol take place or diesel will take place, at that time carbon monoxide is formed, and this carbon monoxide has high affinity towards the hemoglobin. Now function of the hemoglobin is to carry oxygen from the one part to another part of the body. So carbon monoxide has the high affinity for the hemoglobin, so it replaces the oxygen, and because of it replaces the oxygen, now oxygen is not going to different part of the body, carbon monoxide is going to the different part of the body, and because of that reason it has a bad effect, adverse effect on the body. The greenhouse gas means what? It has tendency to absorb the light energy daytime, and at night time they release again, so the temperature of the earth is continuously increased, and that is called the global warming. So they are also the greenhouse gas. They are huge reservoir of carbon. If all this carbon is converted to carbon monoxide, then the amount of carbon dioxide in atmosphere is going to increase, leading to the intense global warming. So as the carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide amount is increased, okay, then what happens? There is a more chances of global warming. Whatever sunlight fall on the earth, that will again reflected in the universe. But what is the role of greenhouse gas? They absorb the greenhouse gas, absorb the sunlight and capture it for the some time, and at night time they release it, and because of that reason the temperature of earth is continuously increased. So on the pole region where the ice is present, they start melting. As the ice start melting, the water level is increases, and because of that reason some areas are there which are nearer to the water area like Mumbai, Navsari, Surat, they are going to merge in the future because of what? Global warming. So dear student, this is all about the today's portion. If you like my video, then like and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.